Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. Myself Farooq Geelani once again to import another class regarding the Cold War. Today we will discuss what were the specific reason behind the Cold War. The Cold War emerged due to the grievances from Western Bloc to the Eastern Bloc and the Eastern Bloc to the Western Bloc. The Western grievances against the Eastern countries were the increasing activities of the communists in the East Europe. The most parts of the East Europe were under the control of the USSR, and they were trying to maintain its status quo, they were trying to maintain its hegemony, they were trying to maintain its leadership, they were trying to impose its ideology on the Eastern European countries. As such, the grievance of this Eastern Bloc was that as such, the grievance of the Western Bloc was that the Eastern Bloc is trying to impose their ideology in the East European countries. This was the first reason. And the second reason was the refusal of withdrawing of Soviet forces from Iran. As you know, the Soviet forces has occupied the Iran and were trying to impose their communist ideology there and forces Iran to accept their ideology and to forcefully sign the oil resources under the control of the Soviet Union. Number third, there was the establishment of communist governments in Greece and Turkey. Soviet Union maintained its ideology by imposing their governments in the Greece and Turkey. This was the third factor which was responsible for the Cold War. The fourth thing was Soviet intervention in Poland. During the course of time, Soviet Union made its intervention, tried to sabotage the economic and the other resources of this Poland and took them under their control. So these were the grievances which the Western were giving against that the Eastern Bloc is trying to hegemonize, to polarize, to get the control over all resources in these countries. Likewise, the communists were having also the grievances against the Western Bloc that there is delay in opening of second front against Germany. As you know, Germany was the part of Axis powers and it was decided that these countries will be punished. But the Western countries made a delay to open the second front against Germany. As such, the Eastern countries tried to have their separate path. They did not cooperate, they did not come, they did not, they realized it, and after that they maintained that Germany is to be liable for the punishment, but Western Bloc did not come forward. Likewise, there was another grievance by this USSR that Italy was backed by the capitalists. Italy, also the part of the Axis powers, it was decided that there will be some sort of punishments for the Italy too, but Italy was backed by the capitalists as they were having the capitalist ideology. Likewise, there was the maintenance of secrecy of atom bombs, that USSR was in possession of the atomic capability. As such, USSR blamed America that you were having the atomic capabilities, but you did not expose your secrecy before me, neither you took me in confidence when you dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Likewise, another thing was that Winston Churchill in 1946, when he made a speech in the Fulton, whereby he opposed the communists, whereby he opposed the ideology of the communists. As such, it fueled the relations between the two powers. Likewise, the Marshall Plan, which was built for the containment of this communism from the region. As such, they were providing loans, economic aids to all those countries which were either the part of capitalism or the part of their military alliances. So these were the grievances. These were the grievances which exposed the rivalry between the two power blocs during the Cold War era. Meanwhile, both the countries tried to have a deterrence, have a patience, have a tolerance in order to protect the world from the third war. The arenas of the Cold War in this regard can be suggested as like this. The Korean War. The Korea, as you know, the North Korea was supported by USSR and China, and the South Korea was supported by the allies of USA or the Western powers. Both powers were trying to show that this Korea, which once was the unified one, but in North Korea, USSR and China made USSR stationed their troops, USSR sent their forces there and tried to have the ideology, have their communism as ideology in the North Korea. Likewise, USA too made the attempt to take some of the parts under its control. As such, North Korea and South Korea, which was once one country, was divided into two countries. One, North Korea under the ideology of communism and South Korea under the ideology of capitalism was divided. Likewise, there was another crisis which is known as Berlin Wall crisis. This crisis took place in the year 1961, under which when USSR tried to separate its part from the Western Berlin, and it started for the construction of a wall within the Berlin city. As such, the segregation, the separation, the construction of the wall made Berlin a wall which tried to divide the Germany, East Germany and West Germany under the control of capitalism and the socialism. Likewise, there were the wars between India and Pakistan. Those wars in 1965, the war which was directly fought between India and Pakistan, but America supported Pakistan, whereas USSR supported India by means of their friendship treaties. Likewise, in the year 1971, when there was the Bangladesh crisis, when Mujibur Rahman came with 6 points that Bengali language is being not treated equal to this Urdu language, that too created the cause of tension between the two powers. Likewise, there was Arab-Israel war in 1967, in which USA and its allies supported Israel. However, USSR supported the Arab countries. Likewise, the Congo War, 1960, there was also the rift. The rift was seen, the clash was seen, the Cold War was seen between the two countries. Like happened in the Vietnam from 1965 to 1975. For the 10 years long duration, there remained a war between the two allies, between the two power blocs, between the two ideologies, between the bipolarity, in order to maintain the Cold War, status quo. Likewise, in Afghanistan, there was a coup by Communist Party of People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. This was the Communist Party, People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, under its coup, under its Saur Revolution. They snatched the power from Afghan president. America and Pakistan supported the Mujahideen, they supported the militants, supported from all those forces which were against this PDPA. As such, the war lasted from 1978 to 89. This war lasted for 11 years, which resulted in the disintegration of the USSR. So these all were the arenas of the Cold War. if you are asked by tomorrow, if you are asked what were the specific causes behind the Cold War, the specific causes, you can suggest these points. These were the grievances given by the Western countries, and these were the grievances given by the Eastern countries, and likewise the arena of the Cold War, which remained there in force, in use for from 1945 to 1991, which resulted what we call nowadays as Cold War.